Okay, Holly, you're all set to go.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to this morning's meeting of the Finance and Audit Committee. I'd like to call the meeting to order. The time is now 9:01 a.m. Stephanie, would you please take attendance?
Yes, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Adrian Cochran will not be joining us today. Andrea Comer,
Present.
Ellen McKitterick will not be joining us today. John Scott,
I am here.
Mike Saltis,
Here.
and Holly Williams.
Here.
All right, we do not have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. So we
I'm
will,
sorry. Yes, we do. We have four. Four
Oh,
out of
yes, sorry.
six.
My
We do.
apologies. Yes.
okay, thank you. So we won't adjust our business for today then. And I would like to thank the members of the public for joining us this morning. It's nice to be back with you all again. And our first order of business is a review of the April 26th, 2024 minutes. So I'd like to have a call to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes.
Second the motion.
Oh, sorry, a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the motion carries. And then Locke, would you please take us through update on the budget review of spending to date?
Sure thing. All right. So, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Awesome. Okay. So Dave's out, so he's on a well-deserved vacation. So here I am. I get the privilege of walking you through the May financials. So what we're looking here is the operating account for the month of May. I want to point you to the monthly expenses of $1.4 million. This results in a positive variance of $666,000. Our top expenses were our usual lines, including 3 pay periods of payroll and the contact center. For this month, we did see expenses for our quarterly grievance adjudication expense to DOL. That was the amount of $76,000. And our outreach expenses for the month totaled to about $140,000. Year to date, that leaves us better than budget by $3.7 million in our operating budget. And high level, that's what covers the month of May for operating. From the bonds budget, no activity again for this month. That leaves us ahead of budget by $350,000. Bringing our bond schedule, well, in regard to our bond schedule, no change from April. This leaves the balance at just under $2.4 million in bond funds available should we need it. I'm going to jump to our contribution budget. For the month of May, we have $724,000 worth of revenue or contribution revenue. This results in a negative variance in the month, which is somewhat offset by the fund recovery activity of $373,000 and the interest income of almost $800,000. For expenses, you'll see that our benefit claims are just shy of $38 million. This is a negative variance due to the month of May being a 5-week claim month. This does average for that month at $7.5 million per week. The net difference for this month was more of a timing difference for the month of May, but you can see year to date, we are positive all across the board for each one of these line items. Jumping to our contribution schedule. It seems like I can't. Jumping to our contribution schedule, our fund balance sits at just shy of $600 million, where our total current assets are $616 million. The big takeaway from this schedule here is you'll notice our Impress account. Previously, we've had $12 million in this Impress account with Aflac for our benefit claims paid weekly. We made a $5 million transfer with the Office of State Treasurer, transferring $5 million from our STIF account over to our Impress account. We work with Aflac to try to maintain 2 weeks worth of benefit payments in that imprest account in order to pay out the benefits to our participants to ensure that they receive their funds timely. Moving on to the operating projection. We're close to the end of the fiscal year end. We expect our expenses to come out to be $13.5 million, which is a positive variance of 3.7. Half of that is due to payroll and related expenses, with positions being filled later than originally budgeted. We still have a $450,000 net negative variance due to not needing to make the quarterly $5 billion transfer from our contribution account for administrative expenses by the Connecticut paid leave. So jumping to our contribution projection, you'll see that here's the $5 million positive variance for the contribution account, not needing to make that transfer. And at the end of the day, we're looking at a $62 million positive variance with positive variances for each one of the line items. That was quick. Hopefully that covers everything. Does anybody have any questions?
I just have one quick question about the $5 million transfer out of STIF. Was that done to account for the fact that benefit payouts are starting to trend upward, so it accounts for a reassessment of that reserve?
Definitely. When we initially made the imprest account, our goal and objective was to have at least 2 weeks worth of funds in there in order to pay out the benefits. So as we see going into June now, we can see that our benefit claims are reaching over 8 million a week. It made sense to reevaluate how much money is sitting in our imprest account in order to pay out the benefit claims. So
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Does anybody else have any questions?
I have one question. Locke, can you just go over again at the very end, you talked about the projections to the end of the year, which is only one more day.
Yes, yep.
How you anticipate we're going to end up with revenue and expenses and our net for the year?
Mike, are you looking to focus in on the operating account or the contribution account?
The operating account.
The operating account, okay. All right, so I'll start at the top. You'll see here that the admin fee is less, it's 5 million, a negative variance of 5 million because we're not making that transfer in. But however, you see that fund recovery penalties is much greater than we had originally budgeted. So kudos to our contribution and compliance team and our fund recovery vendor. You'll see the large variance sitting up here for in expenses. This is about 1.5, 1.6 million of a positive variance on expenses due to payroll. As mentioned earlier, it's due to not filling our positions as originally budgeted over a year ago. But I believe in the last month, we filled 4 positions. So this is more just a timing difference. You'll go through the lines and you'll see one of our biggest variances is a DOL grievance adjudication. Originally budgeted over a year ago, we anticipated a large volume of appeals and maintenance for this. But seeing the experience or seeing the invoices that come through quarterly, we're getting about just under 400,000 per quarter. So we anticipate landing at 1.5 million. I'm sorry. We're getting about 75,000 per quarter. So we anticipate landing here at 378,000 when originally budgeted 1.2 million. I think that covers the big ticket items.
Yeah,
did you want to take a look
you.
at anything else? Okay.
Any other questions? I don't see any. Thank you, Locke, for taking us through that. And I think you're on deck again to provide us with an update on the audit.
All right, let's do this. All right, so you should see a 1-page slide about our current audits. You may have recall Aaron and Dave mentioning at previous meetings that we're underway with an audit and you're wondering why they're repeating themselves. Well, that's because we're actually under 2 audits at the same time. So I want to talk about the two audits underway. The first one being our financial statement audit that happens annually, where our own statutes require us to go out to bid for new auditors every 3 years. So you may recall we've engaged and signed with Whittlesey for the next 3 years. They began digging into our audit just this month, getting familiar with our books. That does take some time. And recently they've made selections for us to go through testing. It's early in the timeline, I guess, and we fully plan on meeting our October deadline to finalize our financial statements for the Office of the State Comptroller. The other audit that went underway is with the Auditors of Public Accounts, which is APA for short. They're from the legislative branch, statutorily responsible for the independent audit of operations of state government and protection of waste, fraud, and abuse, which is inclusive of quasi-public agencies. They basically test how our operations are against state statutes and our own policies. You may recall last time they tested fiscal year 20 and 21. They started in July of 2022, paused for a little bit because they had a different audit to prioritize. Restarting with us in February of 23, finally finishing and issuing their opinion in August 2023. So while undergoing two audits at the same time sounds daunting, the APA fully respects our day-to-day operations. They're there to test, not be a cog, not to slow us down. And we're lucky to have a very communicative auditor. We had her last time. So we also received selections from this audit too. So our finance team is currently working on gathering documents for both audits currently. You can see on the screen, the audit periods vary. So we're covering 3 fiscal years that are being tested. So as we go through our books and our procedures, I just want to say that we're proud of our team and take pride for the improvements that we see from fiscal 22 to 23 to 24 for improved procedures and implementing added controls. One being a seamless multi-layered approval with documentation system. Our team implemented Bill to document everything to have at our fingertips. So Dave and I are proud of what we've been able to accomplish so far and continue to look to do so. Any questions about the audits?
Nope. I don't see any other questions. Well, is there any old business that anybody would like to discuss this morning?
No.
No. Any new business?
No.
All right. Well, then may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right. Well, the motion carries and we will adjourn this morning's brief meeting. The time is now 9:14 a.m. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day and have a wonderful weekend.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Okay.